Hello friends, Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Generation Toy Beast Ape. This is their first Beast figure. Now, this figure is based off of a fan... okay, this is going to take a little bit of explaining. There was a Doshinjin, or an art magazine, or Dojinshi, or an art magazine, released in Japan that had all different kinds of Transformers as beasts. This design was in there as Optimus Primal, obviously. A lot of third parties are now, taking those designs and turning them into figures. On one hand, that's very cool. On the other hand, that sucks because the original designer or the original developers of those concepts aren't getting paid at all. And that sucks. That aside, we're going to take a look at this figure, which I picked up over at the Chosen Prime. The Gorilla mode is absolutely stunning. The red, the black, the gold, the white all work incredibly well. The figure is also incredibly posable in this mode, and it just works. Yes, there's a lot of panel lining and a lot of fidgeting going on in certain spots, but it all works incredibly well. You can get the figure to stand up a little bit and thump its chest. That's very cool. The figure's mouth in beast mode can also open and close very easily, and it's got giant incisors in there, exactly like a real gorilla has. There are no accessories usable in this mode. There are some accessories, though. We'll get into that. But you don't need them. He's a giant silverback gorilla robot. This is pretty cool. The only complaint I have about this figure in this mode is this flap in the front. It just doesn't peg in anywhere and can flip up and down as it pleases. I would have loved to have seen it peg in or incorporate into this mode a little better. Oh well, nothing I could really do about that. I'm not going to run through the posability in this mode simply because it's very, very similar to that of the robot mode, which we're going to go ahead and get into. We're going to start off with the arms. First come to the shoulders and flip up the upper arm panels to fold the shoulder wings, or form the shoulder wings. Straighten out the arms as best you can, covering up that silver bit. Come to the inside of the forearm and open up the panel, and then you can rotate or push the forearm into itself and close it up and snap it into place. And then do the same thing on the other side. And this shortens the arms into a more humanoid-esque arm proportion, like so, and we are done the arms. Then we could come down to the legs and simply kind of just straighten out the legs a little bit. After coming down to the thighs and straightening things out a bit, come to the back and grab these red sections and flip them out like that. And then collapse the silver little bits as far in as they will go. And then straighten the legs out as much as you can. And then just close these guys up to form the upper thighs. And now we come down to the feet. And this is pretty cool. So, reach in to the back and flip out the robot toes, or what were the ape heels, and then come to the sides here and flip these toes around like so. And then we could fold the ape feet up. So just flip them to the sides like that. And then we've got the feet done. So this little pin that you see here is supposed to point up and then plug the flap into it. Obviously, it doesn't stay there. So peg that closed, turn around 180 degrees, and stand the figure up straight like that. Now, this is going to get a little bit crazy here. So what we're going to do is fold up the arms as much as we can, come to the chest, and kind of unpeg it from the section there. And this is pretty cool because this one side of the pectoral folds in. The other side of the pectoral rotates 180 degrees inside to be stored up in here. Then come down to the sides or the flanks of the figure and fold them out, or I should say butterfly them from the rest of the body. and then collapse them in on a double hinge. So the silver bits get collapsed in like that. Come to the backpack and open the backpack all the way up and flip out the shoulder cannons. They will flip out towards the sides like this. Things will get in the way, just don't worry about it. So once those are flipped out, take the gorilla head and split it in half. The one section in the back will fold down into just behind the robot head. Once we have the head split open, fold it all the way back. Take the little black piece here, fold it all the way in, and push it in until you can push it back underneath the robot head. Take the gorilla face, fold it up, turn it 180 degrees, fold it back down. Bring the entire head section down around to peg into place. Then take the little flap that we had in the front of the robot mode, gorilla mode, fold that up and peg it into place to form the chest. And then get the arms resituated. Fold everything up, and then fold these flak panels in to the sides, and they will fit right underneath the flanks. And then we can slide out the cannons, the sides of the head, and you can store these in robot mode, but I like to have them out on the side like that. And then the one thing I forgot is there's one other thing we need to do to the legs, and to make them actually just a little bit longer. I keep forgetting about this step. We have to unpeg the inside and outside of those red components. That will allow us to shimmy the entire leg section up like this. And then once we get all that situated, we close it up, and the inside of those legs or shins will peg into these little pegs that are right inside here. Getting that lined up and pegged in is actually not very easy. That's probably the actually hardest part of the transformation, especially considering I keep forgetting about it. But we'll just fiddle with it and get it so that we can get everything lined up and snapped into place. In robot mode, T-Beast Ape is absolutely gorgeous. Third-party Optimus Primal. It was the first third-party Optimus Primal also, I think. And it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so good-looking. It's so chunky and beefy and chef's kiss beautiful. I love the look of this thing. It's styled well. It's fun to transform, and it's posable like crazy. The only issue that I have is if you don't put the elbows so that the bend in the elbows is pointing towards the front of the figure, the red bits have a tendency to pop off and come apart pretty easily. And the other thing I don't like are his knees. The knees, while strong ratchets, do have a tendency to come out of place pretty easily, so just be aware of that if you're going to pick up this figure. T-Beast does have lights in his eyes, however mine have never worked. I have terrible luck when it comes to mainline figures having horrible knees and hips and third-party figures not having working lights. I win the lottery every time. Anyway, head is plenty posable. It's on a ratcheted ball joint. It's so strange. It can look up and down a lot and swivel side to side. Shoulders are ratchets that are both in and out ratchets and circular ratchets. Upper arm swivel. Elbows are ratchets. Swivel at the wrist, but it is limited due to the armor on the outside of the arm. Fingers are individually jointed, or at least the first two fingers have 1, 2, 3 joints in them, and the bottom fingers are, well, put together and they have one joint. And then there is an a thumb on a ball joint with one knuckle. Ratcheting hips forward and back, in and out, and the inner armor, as you just saw, has a tendency to fall off. That's nothing, just a tiny drop of glue won't fix. Ratchets in the knees, and it does have a double knee. And then some foot articulation with working pistons for forward and back movement, the toes, or the toe section moves, and some ankle articulation. So with this guy, you can pull off some simply beautiful poses. Ape comes with a couple of accessories, the first of which is a replacement faceplate for pulling off the battle mask look of Optimus Primal. The second of which are, second and third I should say, are these giant swords, which can be wielded in both hands, and a combiner sword that you pull the blades off and then combine them into this unit for a giant Darth Maul-esque sword event. Unfortunately, I have lost the front faceplate due to the overwhelming mess on my desk, so I can't show you what that looks like here on my camera, but I can show you in some pictures from Generations Toys photo shoot. Now, getting the figure to hold the swords, it's very easy. Both of the hilts have these nice large circular pegs that go into these peg holes in the palm of the figure, and then the fingers wrap around the swords with no problem whatsoever, so you can get him to wield some nice pointy swords. Have at thee, giant purple dinosaur! Size-wise, Ape scales between a leader class figure and MP10 Prime. I like the swords a lot, I really do, and I'm really glad they added them in. However, they are really sharp, or at least the handles and the hilts and the guards are very sharp. The actual swords themselves aren't that bad, except for at the tip. But they work. They work really well. They also peg into the double sword thing really easily. Though the first time I did it, it was not that easy. I would love to see a Megatron, or Beast Wars Megatron version of, the crocodile version get this treatment. I really would. Simply because I think it would be cool. Now, I don't know if T-Beast, that's the actual art book that was released, had a Beast Wars Megatron. We are getting a ton of third-party Megatrons. Well, not a ton. I think there are 2, maybe 3 announced that are his dragon form. And then we're getting the official Beast Wars Megatron release early next year from Takara. And I already have that sucker pre-ordered in like 2 different places. Either way, I'm really looking forward to seeing more third-party beasties coming down the pipeline. I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. At the time of this recording, I know that there is a Hot Rod coming from, I believe, DX9. Generation Toy is doing a side swipe that is a bull, and the Hot Rod was, I think, a fox, and Bumblebee is coming that's a cheetah. So yeah, we are getting some more beasts coming down the line. I've got the side swipe already pre-ordered, but we haven't seen any colored pictures of that figure. We've only seen the prototype, so who knows when that's going to come out. So folks, let me know what you think of this figure down in the comments. Be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button. Hammer on the bell so you know when a new video is out. Thank you so much for watching this video review. I've had this figure in my pile of shame or backlog for almost a year at this point, I think. Maybe. Jeez, it's been a while. I gotta get through that backlog. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. As always, I am Baltmatrix, and I will catch you next time.